Hi everyone, so this is my 2.5-ish month video for my hormone replacement therapy documentary-ish. I didn't do anything for the 1 month because there wasn't a whole lot that had changed really. I was starting to get some physical side effects, um, but only really one, which I'll talk about in a moment. Um, Fair warning, I am going to be very honest and open about a lot of physical things that are not safe for work. So, it's a lot of body changes, obviously. I am nearing that 3 month mark where a lot of those changes do become more evident. So, there's a lot of that. So, be warned. That's a thing. So, yeah, as anyone who's watching, as long as you're fine with that, uh, we'll go ahead and get into it. And if you know me in real life, no, you don't. So, and please don't mention any of this specifics that I'm about to mention in the video to me in person because that will be terrifying. Anyways, so a little after my 1 month mark, I noticed that my sex drive died completely. I went from needing to do things once a day, twice a day sometimes, to once, I think, every about 3 weeks. So, I think after the first month, I had any kind of anything literally once. And I was intimate with someone, so it wasn't anything by myself. But even when my drive was there, it was difficult to do anything because it was hard to maintain an erection, to be honest. Um, and that was about a month and a half in. Um, so, like I said, sex drive gone. And when I did, it was kind of hard to do anything. It was hard to uh, get erect and to stay erect. And it was a little embarrassing having to explain that to my partner. But, being honest is always the best policy, being open. So, and that's what I did. And fun times. So, and that lack of sex drive has stayed since then. It's been very quiet, um, sexually speaking. So, it's a little weird going from daily desires to monthly, maybe monthly. Um, yeah, it was. I wouldn't say it was an adjustment because obviously there wasn't much to adjust, but it was. It feels weird. It honestly does feel a little strange. I don't miss my sex drive. I was never a huge fan of my sex drive, but it's definitely weird not having it anymore. Um, yeah, so that was about a month and a half in. I noticed about 2 months in that I my breasts have I do have very very small breasts, but they are noticeably bigger. And let me stop groping them on camera. But yeah, so they have started growing in. And in addition to that, a couple weeks ago, probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago, about 2 weeks. So right at my 2 month mark, I noticed that I was feeling like almost sweaty around my breasts, and I found out that I found out that I have started leaking from them. So I don't think it's technically considered like breast milk, but because it's clear, it's a clear liquid. But uh, they've been very tender, very sore. I ran into a door the other day and I wanted to die. It was rough, but yes. So definitely, the girls up top are developing. Um, let's see what else. I have noticed that I recently waxed my legs and my chest hair off, and I've noticed that it, like, normally when I do wax, when it grows in a little bit lighter, but it's noticeably lighter this time. So the body hair, the lessening of the body hair, and the thinning and lightening of the body hair has started kind of taking effect. I've started noticing that. Um, and I do believe that's really about it. So, just to recap, sex drive died off, and sex in general is a little difficult. Starting around the 1 to 1.5 month mark, the 1 month mark, and around the 2 month mark, I noticed my breasts were developing. I started leaking a bit from them. They started getting very tender, very sore. And that leaves me here. I have maybe half a month's dose left until I complete my first 90 days. Which is very exciting because that's when things start really spiking up. That's when most of the more noticeable side effects should start popping up within 3 to 6 months. So once I hit that 3 month mark, that's the start of that. So I'm pretty excited. I've started buying more women's clothes. Like, I have this really nice sweatshirt that I got off of a website. I have a pair of shorts. I bought my first dress, which honestly I'm not a huge fan of how I look in it, but that's because I have no curves yet. Oh, and speaking of curves, one last change that I've noticed is I now have stretch marks on the sides of my butt. So, and I've gained weight. I've gained about 5 pounds since I started my hormone therapy, and a lot of it seems to have gone to my butt and waist. So I'm starting to, well, I've never had much of a butt at all, but now I have a bit of a butt. Like, I've noticed, like, it feels bigger, and there are stretch marks on the side of it now. So it's definitely growing as well, which I'm very excited about. My jeans are a little bit tighter nowadays. So yeah, so that's that. But going back to the curves, yeah, I'm not very confident in a lot of women's clothing yet, but I'm getting there. Right now, I identify as non-binary, even though I'm taking feminizing hormones. So I feel most comfortable kind of dressing in between genders, not necessarily like strictly feminine or strictly masculine. Definitely not strictly masculine. But it's been nice feeling confident enough to get women's clothing and to kind of mix and match the stuff that I had before my transition started and women's clothing. So, it's definitely nice, and I'm very excited for the coming months and the changes that should be taking place. I'm trying not to say as much, but still work in progress. But that's all I have, really. The changes in the past few months have boosted my confidence by a lot more than it was boosted since the last video. And the clothes I feel confident in, and that's a new change. And that's about it. So hopefully by the time I do a next video, I may actually not even do the 1 month video. I may do like a video in 2 or 3 months. But whenever I do the next video, hopefully things will be a bit more, there'll be bigger changes as well, like there have been in the past month or two. So For those that are following me and watching my content, thank you. As always, I make this here for two purposes. One, to help myself document my journey so I can look back a few years from now and be like, wow, look at how far I've come. But the second reason is to help out anyone who's thinking about taking a similar journey and wants to see how it progresses. And so they can visually see, hey, this is what, at 24 years old, this is how, this affects you. Maybe that'll help them make their decision as to whether or not they want to transition or not. So if it does help you, I'm very glad that it does. And good luck on your journey. And for everyone else, thank you for supporting me. I've had a lot of support from my friends at work and my family. Well, family's a bit more of a mixed topic, but I'll get into that next time. So hopefully it'll be a bit better by then. So thank you, everyone. Was basically to sum up the past minute or two. Thank you. And I'll see you next time.